like my employees because of like they were just race. I didn't every time someone had something negative to say about me or like did anything like that was not kind to me, I didn't think it was my skin color. But now that a couple months ago, I took this class with Mr. King. He was my teacher at the high school, and that's how I'm really educated about the matter. If I did not take that class, I wouldn't be up here sitting now because I was not educated about it. And we need to do that at a younger age. Because the kids that weren't educated are the ignorant people that are saying all lives matter. Like, let me have my moment. Let me have my moment. When they bombed Boston, it wasn't Maine strong. It was Boston strong. So let me have my moment. For all the people saying all lives matter, you were not hurt. You were not. So let me have my moment, please. This is about me, Black lives and people of color. So sit down and wait for your turn because it's not right now. This is like my third time doing this. I don't really know what I'm doing out here, but it's all good because you guys are applying. But if anyone else has anything else to say, and I'm gonna come back because I left my phone and I have my notes on it. So right now I'm just going on top of my head. I have more things to say. So now I'm gonna give the mic over to other kids. So who's next? And now we have Olivia Levine.
Hi, my name is Liv, and I want to start this off first with asking everybody to take a knee for 1 minute, and we're going to have a moment of silence for all the Black people killed by police. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I just wanted to speak to all of my white allies out here today. Thank you for being here, but please remember you are here to support. You are not here to speak over us, you are not here to riot, and you are not here to gentrify the Black Lives Matter movement. Right now, the Black community needs your support more than anything. Stand with us, help us be heard. I also want you to acknowledge your privilege as a white person. That white skin you have is a shield. Because of your white skin, you will never face racism, and you will never be afraid for your life based solely on the fact that you are white. Ignorance is bliss for y'all, but it is deadly for us. I want our white allies to keep caring about Black lives, even after justice is achieved for George Floyd, and even after the Black Lives Matter movement is no longer a trending hashtag. I want you to hold your white friends accountable. Tell them that they are being racist when they say the N-word or use a racist stereotype. Don't excuse their actions just because you have never seen them actively commit a hate crime. By doing so, you are contributing to a culture which allows Black people to stay oppressed. Please remember that it is not our jobs as Black people to educate you on what is racist and what is not. You have the resources to educate yourselves. Please utilize them. Don't count on your Black friends to call you out when you are being racist or discriminatory. And most importantly, please never stop using your privilege to fight for us. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Josh Wood. I'm so happy that all of my white allies, friends, are here supporting our brothers and sisters that we've lost to police brutality and bringing awareness, sharing the love that we will incite here today. Racism isn't getting worse, it's getting filmed. And this applies everywhere, even in Sanford, Maine, even in Portland, Maine, even in Wells, Maine, even in Kennebunk, Maine. We can't address this issue of structural racism without addressing it by making this movement as peaceful as possible. And that starts with all of you. We need you not to riot. We need you to support us, and we need you to uplift the words that we say. Today, I'm not only here for my community, I'm here for my father, nieces, nephews, sisters, brothers. I'm here for all of us to stop the violence, to stop the hatred. I started a petition to remove police officers from Sanford schools. I did this because we should be addressing the root of the problem with more counselors, with more psychologists, with more people who are equipped with the resources to help these Black and brown communities so disproportionately disaffected by all of this, by the violence, by the racism, by the hatred. So thank you for supporting us here today. It means a lot. But keep uplifting. And don't stop after each protest is done. Don't stop after each action is done. Start now. Don't finish. Thank you.
All power to the people. All power to the people. I'm going to say what story Carmichael once said. He said, all power to the black people. All power to the red people. All power to the red and purple people. All power to all the people. We need to stand up to unify ourselves in the justification, understanding what we have and achieve. We have a goal today. You have a mission. We are soldiers, and they say if you're a Christian, you say, onward Christian soldiers. Am I right? All right. If you're a Muslim, you say, Allah has sent me to do a mission. He said, I shall kill no one that God has not told me to kill. I shall not attack unless I am attacked, Brother Malcolm. Enough is enough. We need to stand up as a people. To my black people in the audience, I need you to understand there is a solution for our racist problem. And for my white brothers and sisters, there is a solution for this problem. The solution is not just education, it's diversion. How many of you know who Booker T. Washington is? How many of you know who Marcus Garvey is? How many of you know who Story Carmichael is? How many of you know who Huey P. Newton is? How many of you marched on October the 16th, 1995 in Washington, D.C. at the Million Man March? How many of you marched at the Million Women's March in New York? Huh? How many stood on the time when we were going through pain? When Henry was in Dallas, Texas, and the Klan pulled his body apart? We don't hear about that, but surely 6 months later, Trayvon Martin was killed. We are lost in the education of ourselves. We don't know who the black inventors are anymore. We say Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. That was false. We don't want to understand that the black man also invented the elevator, the cell phone. We're not educating, and the press won't let you know about these things. When you reach out to your community, you say, listen, I have a way to change. I want equality for my family. We call Maine vacation land. It's on our license plate. But what kind of vacation are you coming to when you come in here and when you got racist situations coming up, systemic racism? You got constant hate. The Honorable Mr. Farrakhan said once time, he said, we as a people, we have to pool our resources because his teacher told him, pool your resources. What are we doing? How many of you putting that dollar back in the black community? You want to change? You really want to change? Because talk is cheap. Action speaks louder than words. We have to make something change right now. Because it says, and then even the Bible and the Quran, it says, God shall come upon you when you least expect it. If you make one step towards him, he'll make 2 steps towards you. Amen. If you want to make something better for this whole community, sister's right. We do need to do education. But there's also another step. Support each other. Make yourself have a better community. That's why I started my program. Not just to support fathers, but the human family. What we do as a society is important. We can't let greed rule our lives. We can't let hatred rule our lives. We have to stand as a community and make peace. I stand right here. A lot of you said I've seen an Islamic flag. It says I, F-J-I. Freedom, justice, and equality. And Islam meaning peace. So guess what? Freedom, justice, equality, and peace. We have to stand as a community and as a people. And we're willing to make this mission. All right? So can I get everybody to make a pledge with me? Say with me. Repeat after me. And we're going to say I, and you say your name, and we'll go from there. I pledge to do better. To uphold my community. I say your name. Pledge to be better as myself.
Pledge to be better as myself.
As my brother.
As my brother.
And my love for my humanity.
And my love for humanity.
I say your name.
Marcia.
Shall take a vow.
Shall take a vow.
To do no harm.
To do no harm.
To uplift the people.
To uplift the people.
And support my community.
And support my community.
All power to the people.
How y'all doing? My name is Shakir, and well, he done said what I need to say already. So other than that, I'll just say a couple of incidents with me here in the city of Sanford and Biddeford. As far as I see it, we all are victims of police brutality. Oh, you know what I mean? But I want to say this. I was ready to leave Sanford because, you know, I had an incident. I went to the police station, and I hope they're listening too, you know. But I went to the Sanford police station, and I went to go get an accident report. And when I came to the telecom, they asked me what was my name. So I told them my name. Then they asked me what was my date of birth. I said, well, I don't think I have to give you that. I just come to ask, you know, to speak to an officer, and then I'll go from there. So then they said to me, okay, thank you, O.J. Simpson. I said, what did you say? And he hung up the phone. So I was yelling on the phone, and I walked out, and then 3 cops ran on after me. So I stood my ground, and they says, what did he say to you? And you all talking about on the phone? I said, I was asking him something about the report, and he asked me about my name. And then when I told him that under the Maine law, I didn't have to give him my date of birth because I wasn't being arrested for anything like that, and he referred me as O.J. Simpson. He said, that's what he said to you on that phone. It's recorded in there. Now, if we go in there and see that's on there, we're going to deal with him. I said, well, you better go in there and deal with him, because that's what he said. Now, what they did with him, I don't know, all right? Now, what made me really want to leave Maine for good, I was going to Biddeford, leaving Rockland, Maine, came off Expressway, headed towards Biddeford. When I was going up the road, a police officer came by me. He looked at me, made eye contact. Then I looked at my mirror and I see him turn around. And boy, that car came spinning, boy. I mean, he had that car in the wind. So I says, maybe he's on a call or something, you know. So I pulls over. He pulls over behind me. So I said, what the hell he pulling me over for? So I put my window down, and I said, what's the problem? He said, well, you were speeding 3 miles over the speed limit. I said, get the hell out of here. I wasn't speeding over 3 miles over the speed limit because I know how you benefit cops are. He says, well, what are you getting mad for? I was just going to give you a warning. I said, warning for what? So he says, you got your driving license and registration on you. I said, I'm calling the headquarters right now. So while I was calling the headquarters, I got them on the line. They said, we're coming down there. And I went to go look for the license and registration, and I didn't have them on me. So he asked me what my name was, and I told him what my name is, and he says, you sure this is you? I said, you asked me my name, I gave it to you. So he goes back to the cruiser. He couldn't find it. His buddies came, put the handcuffs on me, sent me to the police station. While I was sitting in the police station, they did a fingerprint check on me and all that crap. I could hear them talking in the room in there. He's hiding something. I don't believe his name is Shakir. He's hiding something. So anyways, I said, I got a license in Maine. I had one in New Hampshire. So I can hear them on the phone because they got it on a loudspeaker so the other cops can hear it. And what they're saying is that this guy's hiding something. Do you ever got anything on him with a driver license in New Hampshire? And we can't find him in Maine. So the cop called back 5 minutes later and says, we found something similar to his name. Go ask him what his social security number is. He came back and I gave it to him, the same one I gave him from the beginning. And he says, yeah, that's him. He has a driver license. Okay. Next thing I know, I was held to the jail, not knowing what the charges were. All I know, he said I spent 3 miles over the speed limit. So now they know I got a driving license. They take me to the jail. Next morning, a lawyer comes in there and talks to me, and she's smiling when she comes talking. I said, what's so funny? She says, well, they didn't charge you with speeding. They didn't charge you with not having a driving license. But what they charged you for is that when you was in the police station, you signed a fingerprint card with your name on it, and they said that ain't you. So now they're charging you with a felony in the police station. Not outside, but in the police station. So I said, oh, is that what it is? So anyways, I get in front of the judge, and he was a nice judge. I explained to him what was going on, and the DA jumped up and said, oh, we want him to be held on $10,000 cash bail. And I said, what the hell is this all about? And they said, well, an officer at the Sanford Police Department said, he spies on the police cars. So I said, well, I'll be damned. Now, I live in Sunset Towers. If anybody knows Sanford, they know Sunset Towers. It's the tallest building in the city. And what's behind Sunset Towers is a police station, all right? Now, the older people in the building, I would bring them out at nighttime, and I would use a telescope so they could see the space station when it flies by. I went to the police station and said, look, tonight I'm gonna have a bigger telescope out here so the people can see the space station when it flies by. Oh, no problem, no problem. 2 weeks later, I go get an accident report at the police station. Connolly, the man in charge of the police station, he said, are you being helped? I said, yes, I am. I said, I've been trying to talk to you for 3 months now. Did you put it down in writing? I said, no, I didn't. I didn't know I had to. He said, well, what seems to be the problem? I said, one of your officers, Archibald, something like that. Archibald. I said, he told another tow company that he's watching me because I have too many cars. So I said, I didn't know the black man could have more than one car. So Connolly said, well, listen, you were under investigation. I said, for what? He said, well, they said you were spying on the police officer license plates. I said, what in the hell? I need a telescope to spy on the cop license plate. I live in Sunset Towers. If you know where it's at, the police station parking lot is right on the back of the towers. My car is parked at the police station on their property in the back on the side of it. I said, what do I need a telescope to watch your plates when I will see you every day going out the parking lot? They can't get out their parking lot unless they pass my car. right? So he said, listen, it was garbage. It was garbage. Leave it alone. Well, it was a big mistake. Leave it alone. I said, okay, cool. Now we go back to the Bedford police. I said, well, the reason why I'm talking to you kindly again is because the Bedford police, the judge, the DA told the Bedford police that I had spotted in your cars, which you said was a bunch of garbage, which we know. But one of your officers, Archibald, whatever, Hannibal or Archibald, whatever it is, the day I got released on $200 bail, the judge told me, since you live on the compound of the police station, every day you go outside, stop in the police station just to please the prosecutor. Walk in, don't say nothing to nobody, just walk in and walk out until this case is done with. I says, okay. Within 3 days, I walked in the police station. I did every day, but on the third day I walked in there, I saw 2 police cars pull up the parking lot right by me. So I walked in there. I said, now wait a minute. These cops are slick. The judge told me go in there and walk out. I'm gonna sign this book every day I go in there, just to be proof I was here, okay? So anyways, I leave. When I got down into the street, they tailed me on my bumper from the police station. So I said, what the hell they want my bumper for like this? If I hit the brakes, he would tow the whole car up. So I said, okay. I pulled in front of Sunset Towers. One of the police cars kept going. The one pulled behind me, it was Archibald, whatever his name is. Driver license registration. I got my papers today. I said, for what reason? Driver license registration. I said, you don't scare me by yelling at me. What's the reason why you asking me this information? Well, you got stopped by a benefit cop a couple weeks ago, and he said you ain't who you are, and I got the call, so now I'm asking you now for your papers. So I gave my driver license. He stepped back, called it in, clean. I heard the dispatcher, you need backup? You need backup? No, I got it. Listen, if you don't got this problem taken care of by Friday, I'm gonna lock you up. I said, the judge just released me from the court. This isn't being heard in court. I'm gonna lock you up. Because the benefit cop says one thing, who am I gonna believe? I said, well, the courts, I'm in court now. I'm gonna lock you up. I said, I'll be waiting on you. The next morning, I went to the Sanford police. They asked to speak to Conley. Couldn't see him at all. He had like, he's gone, you know, can't see him. So I went over to the town manager, Buckley, I think it was. Very nice guy. He took every information down from me for about an hour. He said, listen, I'm going over there, I'm gonna deal with it myself on this issue here. Believe me, I'm gonna take care of it. Next morning, I went over to Sanford, the courthouse in Springville. And I said, look, I was just wondering what was going on with my case here when I got arrested in Bedford. Oh, you're not in this courthouse. I said, yes, I am. No, you're waiting to get indicted in Superior Court, Alfred. I said, for what? They said, for perjury. You said your name was something on the card in the police station. They said, that's not you. I said, I'll be damned. Anyways, I called my lawyer up. He said, listen, I'm going over there tomorrow to the Superior Court, and I'm going to take care of this in front of a Superior Court judge, because this don't make sense. He goes on over there the next day, gives them all the information, driver's license, birth certificate, working for the state of Maine, all this information, and the judge said, what a disgrace, and threw the thing out the courthouse. Right? That's what happened on that. Right? So, and that really hurt me. It really hurt me. You know? I love you too. Well, that really hurt me, really did. Then, don't get me wrong. The majority of the police in here are the best police I ever met in the Sanford police station. You got one or two everywhere you go, you know? And then my final draw was going back to benefit. I passed Arundel. Police car came riding by. He looked over at me. I ride normal speed. And again, he turned that Ford around, boy. And boy, he was swinging coming up the road. I pulled over. He came behind me. I said, here we go. He came on the passenger side, rolled the window down. I said, what seems to be the problem? Well, your inspection sticker expired. I said, that sticker ain't expired. I got this sticker 2 weeks ago, and it's good for 1 year. Now, you would think he would look at the sticker and say, well, oh, I made a mistake. He didn't do that. He said, well, since I got you pulled over, just give me a license anyways. I said, I ain't giving you a goddamn thing. You put me over based on a race situation, I'm not going for that. I said, I'm calling your office right now. Oh, shit, you're going to be a problem. I'm going to leave you alone. Then he took off. I'm serious. This is, I mean, come on now. And I'm going to leave this last little incident. I could be here a year. Not with Sanford, but going down to Massachusetts. I'm not going to go there. I was coming through a town over here called, over by Buxton somewhere. A friend of mine, he's deaf. So I had to take him to go get a car. We coming back. Came through this little town, Personfield or whatever it is. Parsonsfield, whatever it is. There was a police officer, state trooper sitting in the gas station looking out. I rode by, no problem. Tractor trailer behind me, and then my friend was behind me. He came out swinging. Blue lights, I pulled over. He didn't come after me, he went after my friend. Because he had no sticker on his plate of the car or something. So my friend is here with him, and I'm about so far up the road there. Now my friend is deaf, so I know the cop was gonna have a problem dealing with him. So I'm looking down at the mirror, and I see the state trooper do like this. Come here, come here. So I got the car and I walked down there. When I got down there, he says, do you know him? I said, yeah. He says, do you know how to do the sign language? I said, no, I'm not good at that. He says, well, you got a driving license? I said, yes, I do. Can I see it? You didn't pull me over, you pulled him over. Yeah, but I figured, since you're here, I would check you out. I said, no, you're not gonna check me out. I said, no, you're not gonna check me out. You pulled him over for a traffic violation. He said, okay, no big thing. And I walked back to my car. The point I'm gonna make, I appreciate this, the way the cause is out here now, everybody's standing up of all races and stuff, because we all are victims at some point. And it's still going on out here. And the people I really held accountable for most of this stuff is the courts. The courts, because whenever something comes down about some police, and you go in there with your complaints and bring it against them, they turn blind side on you. Even the prosecution. Even the prosecution. You feel what I'm saying? So, and I was told in the court system, the prosecution never would prosecute the police in Massachusetts and Boston because they would do the work for the prosecutor. The police would do the work for the prosecutor. So why would they prosecute them? They needed the police. So they were their buddies, they wouldn't prosecute them. A good example of the incident that just happened on TV, it was broadcasted, I think it was in Georgia somewhere, where the guy shot the black guy 3 times with a shotgun. And then they didn't arrest the guy. For a long time, they didn't arrest him. Then they turned around and said, oh, he worked for the prosecutor. You see, so that's the point I'm trying to make. The courts are to blame for most of this stuff here because they let them get away. Every time it comes in front of the court, they turn blind side to them. So the court is a big responsibility of most of this stuff here. Thank you very much.
Testing. All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jordan. Thank you, everybody, whether you're black, white, any other group out there. Thank you for coming out. I do appreciate it. You guys really surprised me up until, what was it, Saturday or Sunday? I kept hearing about, oh, everybody in Maine, they're protesting. I'm like, they are? I'm like, this is a pretty racist state. I've been trying to tell everybody I know, but, let's turn a blind eye to racism, right? That's cool. But thank you again for coming out. I want to share some of my stories, and before I get started, let's just take a couple of seconds for all the brothers and sisters that were killed due to racism, whether it's cops or any other way, shape, or form. Just 5 seconds, just a moment of silence, please. All right, so I moved up here originally in 2015. I used to live in Jersey, PA. So as you can see, I keep going north, north, north. Just keep going up, right? So I moved up here in 2015, met somebody, everything's going great. Started a job over in Augusta, just lumping trucks. And my first racist experience was, and it didn't really hit me until I sat there and talked about somebody, because I never really dealt with something like that. So I finished loading the truck. It was a third-party guy, so anytime it's a third-party person, they can usually come in, get some snacks, go to the bathroom, whatever. So I'm in the break room. There's the one guy that was a Lyft driver at the building, and then there was the driver I was telling you about, right? So what ends up happening is the guy looks at me, because I've seen him before. He's been there a bunch of times. He's a, common vendor there, right? He looks at me and just starts laughing. I'm like, oh, what the heck is so funny? He goes, oh. And he looks at the other guy. By the way, they're both white, just to be clear. He says, yeah, doesn't that guy kind of look like the guy from Forrest Gump? Then he goes into the description. I'm like, oh boy, what's he gonna say now? His big lips and this and that, African traits, right? What the hell is so funny about that? So I leave the room afterwards because I was finishing my break anyway. The other guy, who I'm not gonna name because, whatever, he goes, hey, Jordan, I'm really sorry. I didn't really know where he was going with that. I'm like, hey, it's all right. It was my first time dealing with it. I'm like, hey, first time, whatever. Then I quit that job years later dealing with an oxygen company, right? So what ends up happening is my first week, first Friday, I will never forget this. Obviously can't tell you the name for obvious reasons. Me and another guy, who also just so happened to be a brother, he was training me on Friday. We go to this guy's house to set him up with his machine. Hey, my name is T, this is Jordan, mind if we come in? Yeah, sure. We introduce ourselves. The first question out of this guy's mouth was, what country are you guys from? We kind of looked at each other like, wait, what? What is this guy talking about? When we say America and our state, then the sisters or whatever they were, I don't know what they were, they came in with their cornball excuses, as I like to call it. And I'm like, whatever. Immediately into the next question. Are you brothers? I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, man, everything is race related with this guy. So I'm like, something's got to give. So we're like, no, we're not brothers. We try to get into what we're there for, which was delivering the guy's machine, right? So that was that. I'm like, man, so this is the second time I've ever dealt with something like this in my life. But why is it that when I move up to Maine, this is a thing? So I have another scenario, because there's a lot of them, but I'm going to try to skim it down in case there's anybody else left that wants to talk and be here all day, like other brothers said, but don't want to do that. So this incident, I have a white supervisor, a real cool guy and everything. We set up this guy, he needs a bed. Big bed, bariatric bed. Anyone doesn't know what a bariatric bed is for a bigger person, to put it in layman's terms. So we hook him up, get everything in there, everything's set up. Supervisor just had to do the paperwork. Okay, you're good to go, whatever. Give or take about 2-3 weeks later, what ends up happening is I had to go back. They said, check bed. I'm like, what could possibly go wrong with this bed? I'm not sure. I've only been for the company at that time for about a year. So I'm like, hey, what's going on, sir? Well, the bed will go up, the tilt function for the head and the foot, but it won't lower. I'm like, all right, well, let's check it out. Did anyone do anything? Yeah, my son messed with some cords under the bed. I'm like, hey, it happens. Let me check it out. Connected everything back, thought everything was good, tested it out with the remote. It'll go up, like he said, but it's not going down. I'm like, all right, so he's already in an uncomfortable position. Let me try something else. So I tried the crank and everything. Nothing was working. I'm like, man. I was like, sir, I'll be right back. So I called the office. I talked to basically everybody in my office. I called the other driver. He didn't know. So I called my supervisor. Hey, man, this guy's really upset. Could you please come down? Supervisor. He's, oh, man, I don't want to do it. I'm like, hey, I get it, but can you please come down? This guy's very irate. He goes, all right. I called the office one more time to let them know he's going to be on his way. So I go back inside the guy's house. All right, sir, here's what's going to happen. A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And all my life, this is what this guy says to me. All right, you better not be lying, because there's not that many black people in Maine. So if you're lying to me, I'm going to come and find you. I'm just looking at him like, sir, I'm trying to help you out. And he looks at me because I was very upset. Cornball stories once again. I was just joking. My father goes into the how he's not a racist story that we all know and like to hear from these white people that are racist but like to pretend they're not. My father, he was a racist, and anytime he said something that was racist, I would kick him out and tell him not to do this and that. And in my words, sir, if you have any other questions, call the office. My supervisor is on his way to help you. And of course, nothing came about that. Like, the supervisor went by, did his thing. You know, he doesn't have to worry about that because, let's be honest, he's white. He doesn't have to worry about walking into somebody's house and somebody being a race soldier for a day and they just go to Burger King or do whatever they do and that's it. Like, nothing gets solved. So here we go again. Day I was on call, I had to come from the coast. I get a call from the office. Hey, you got to take care of 3 things. One's at a nursing home, then there's a setup, and then the lady's having problems with her machine. All right, cool. Went to the office, grabbed some stuff because I wanted to make sure I was well prepared. Go to the first person's house. She said she's unable. I don't like walking to people's houses for obvious reasons. I don't want to hear on the news, 6 o'clock news, black man broke into someone's house. Nope, they told me to come in, but I knock, I do everything I have to do to go in there properly. You know, this is things you have to do when you're black. You have to take extra steps. Make sure you have your wallet out before you get pulled over. Make sure you're holding the wheel. Don't play rap music. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like, it's the most ridiculous stuff I've ever heard in my life. But back onto the story. So what ends up happening is I go into the door after knocking. She said it's okay to come in. Hey, what's going on? Oh, my machine's down. Well, what's going on? It's just not working. All right, so I tested everything out. Did you change the tubing? Is it against the wall? Is there a filter that needs to be cleaned? I went through the whole process that we always have to go through. So, mind you, this lady lives in a really small house. So what ends up happening is I was in the bathroom because that's where she had the machine. She asked me a question. So, where are you from? And I always tell her where my thing's located, not where I'm actually located, Fairfield. She goes, no, where are you from? I come out. I'm sorry, ma'am, is there a reason why you're asking me? And in her words, this is what she says. Well, I've never seen someone of your complexion, you know, doing this job or around here. I'm like, well, ma'am, we are all over the place. You know, we're not just in one particular area of the world, but, you know. Anyway, so I was like, yeah. And then I go straight back to the job, like I always have to tell people. Oh, did you have new tubing? No? Okay, let's get you some new tubing. I'm going to get you a new machine. Do you need a humidifier bottle? Do you need anything else? Just keep it 100% about the job. So I go back out, grab everything, switch her machine out, go over self-maintenance stuff. If she can't do it, tell the caretaker to do that, right? So then what ends up happening is I set up the machine. Hey, you're all set. I just need a signature on the X. All right, thank you very much. You were very helpful. Hey, no problem. If you're ever in the area and you ever need to pee, I'm like, looking, what is he talking about? You can come into my house, right? Don't worry, I won't shoot you. Oh my goodness. I'm like, is there something invisible message somewhere saying, hey, say this to this black guy? I apparently I didn't see the memo because every time I go to someone's house, it's always some nonsense like this. So, you know, long story short, I tell somebody that I know and they just start laughing. I'm like, wow, that's funny to you? That's real messed up because I'm pretty sure if someone said that to your kid or something like that, you would react differently, right? So then there's always the typical, you go to the patient's house and, you know, there's 2 black guys that work at the place. You know how we quote unquote look the same. So I go to help this lady out. It's a place you have to get buzzed in and all that. She lets me in. Hey, how's it going? I need a backup tank or whatever. All right, cool, no problem. Have you ever had one before? No, okay, I'll be right back. Get all that stuff that she needs. And then she starts complaining about something and about how some time ago, I think it was like a few months ago, supposedly, I was the one that set her up with the piece of equipment. No, ma'am, that was actually somebody else. Because once again, like I told you earlier, my first example dealing with racism, there was a brother I used to work with, T, real cool guy, real sharp. Thank you very much if you listen to me right now. But she thought that I was him. She goes, well, you know, it was some sort of color guy. I was like, ma'am, his name is blank. Obviously, I'm not going to out the guy. I don't know if he wants me to say it out in public or not, but he's a real cool guy. And, you know, these are the things that we constantly have to deal with, even though we tell people all the time, and people want to just turn a blind eye to it like this kind of thing doesn't exist. It does exist. You can see it all over Facebook. There was an 18-year-old. She was dealing with the company. And that guy got outed. Luckily, somebody within the community came out, outed him. Company pulled out. Then you had another guy, I think it was up in Brewer. he quote unquote, here's a typical cornball excuse. Oh, I got hacked. I said some racist stuff. I got hacked. Is that the new excuse nowadays? Like, come on now. Like, we got to do better. And we got to stop doing this thing where if somebody is telling you about their experience, you just shut them down automatically, right? Like, clearly, if everybody is saying this, it's not just one person and that's it. Clearly, there's some strength to that in numbers, like they say. Like, there's a victim here or a victim there or whatever. Don't just ignore them. Sit down and listen. Like how you'll say blank, blank, or whatever. Hey, we're not saying that you don't matter. It's just, we can't jump on every single issue at one time, but at this point in time, it's this issue. We're not saying you don't matter. You do matter just like everybody else. I'm sure you guys heard all the analogies by now, but it's getting to that point where people are just on purpose trying to divide us by saying stuff like that when they're trying to just destroy our message, which is literally Black Lives Matter. We're not saying you don't matter or you don't matter or everybody else out there doesn't matter. You guys do matter, but you guys aren't freaking listening. Like, enough is enough. See? So I don't want to hold you guys up, but again, thank you very much. If there's any brothers or sisters out there in the crowd, you have some stories, experiences, whether even if it's not something up here in Maine, just come up here, say your piece. Don't be afraid, because I'm not really the best public speaker. You guys might think I am. I don't think I am. I think I'm horrible. But again, thank you very much for giving me this mic time. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Excuse me. Thanks everybody for coming out, supporting this cause. Like everyone else, I want to share some stories about, police injustice and things that I've experienced on a personal nature since moving to Maine myself. About a year ago, I moved to Maine, approximately December 20th, 2018. And upon moving here, I lived in the Bangor area. As you guys can probably tell from my accent, I'm from New York. So upon moving here, I experienced, a tragedy 3 weeks into the move. The house where I was renting got raided by police. And from that moment, I was profiled as a drug dealer. I didn't get caught with any drugs. I didn't get caught with any marked money. I didn't get caught on any surveillance. Just the word of mouth from some guy who I don't even know said I was selling drugs. So from that moment, I was arrested. Initially, my bail was $25,000. Upon making it to the county jail, my bail was raised to $75,000 cash. So then the legal process, since I was innocent, I'm thinking, I have a shot here. For once in my life, I really didn't do it. Well, here in the state of Maine, what happened to me was I was assigned several public defenders. Well, for those of us who have been in the system incarcerated here in the state of Maine, we know there is no public defender system. So this goes out to Janet Mills. I hope it reaches Governor Mills in her office, because this is a big problem. You can't tell me that an attorney that is able to be paid for his services is going to perform the same type of service for someone who's not able to pay. That's how it works here in the state of Maine, for those of you who don't know. If you can't afford to pay for a private attorney, they will provide you with a private attorney, but he's not going to do the same job he's charging somebody thousands of dollars to do for the guy who's not paying him a cent. Okay? So I want to bring attention to that as well, because ever since, and like I said, I got here in 2018, but it wasn't a day that went by in jail that I didn't hear about this ex-Governor LePage and all the bad stuff he put into the atmosphere. So I'm asking us as a whole to stand up for all the injustice, to stand up for all of us who don't have voices, for the brothers that's incarcerated, for people that can't speak. That's who needs his voice. So I appreciate you guys for coming out. Please, like the young people who spoke before me said, this can't just be a situation where We get into it, we garner all this attention, and then, you know, they give us a couple things to calm us down, and then everything goes back to where it was. Nah, this time we had to go until everything changes. This is our time, this is our generation. If we don't speak up, it'll never change. So thank you all for coming out, man.
Olivia, I need you. She's coming. Love you too. Okay, I had a couple of things to say before I started. First, I don't see any black people, so can we please have the black people move to the front? Please? Yeah. Like, I don't see you, like. Avery, where's Avery? So? Okay. Before I started, my voice is kind of gone because if you guys haven't been to Portland, you need to go to Portland. Yo, I have my Portland people. Okay. I feel like Black lives do matter in schools, so what we need is mandate Black history and ethnic studies in schools, and then we also need to hire more Black teachers. At Sanford High School, there's like one, I think. Yes. And then also we need to give her money to these counselors, like not these cops. Like, anyways. Also, we also need more Black cops in Sanford too. We need more Black cops in Sanford. Wait, Eddie Murphy. Okay, because if a cop is gonna hit me, hit my brothers, my sisters, I want them to hit someone that looks like their sister, their brother, their mom. You know, I have no Black cops here. And then what me and Olivia, do you need to say? Like, everyone's already finished their speech, so if you haven't heard my speech, then you're probably late. What else do we need to say? So we had some chants because we're gonna march. We're gonna march down Main Street. Like, should we go that way or that way?
We should go all the way.
Like the police station all the way? Police station all the way. That way. We're gonna go that way. Okay. So we're gonna go over some chants so you guys know what's up. Okay. Wait. So first we're gonna start off with no justice, no peace. And we're gonna practice, so get into it. Ready? No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace.
No racist police. No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace.
Yeah, so we go Black lives and they matter. We need everyone to be doing these chants. Like, what are you doing? Like, where's the energy? Like this is what we came for. Use your voice. Like, I can't hear anyone. Someone.
If y'all are here, you are here to protest. You are here to support. Let's hear your voices. Let's hear it. Okay. So we're gonna say Black lives, and I want all of you to say matter. Can we do that? Okay. Black lives matter. 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 Black lives matter.
So we have some like say his name, George Floyd, say his name. So we're gonna go with Breonna Taylor first. Yesterday, say her name. And yesterday was her birthday, so we're gonna say happy birthday. Yeah. So.
So I'm gonna say her name, and I want everybody to say Breonna Taylor. We all got that? Okay. Say her name. Breonna Taylor. 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 Okay, so kind of the same thing. I'm gonna say his name, and you guys are gonna say George Floyd. We got that? Yes from everybody? Yeah. Say his name. George Floyd. 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 Say his name. George Floyd.
George Floyd!
We're gonna go ahead and say, I can't breathe.
I can't breathe! 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 I can't breathe!
Everybody in the back, I need y'all to protest too. That's what you're here for. Let's use our voices. Let's not just stand here. This is what we're here for. Y'all are here to support. Let's hear your voices.
I can't breathe! 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 I can't breathe!
We don't get it, shut it down. So it's like, what we want, just is
Okay.
we want it now.
Everyone still listening? We still paying attention?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
We're gonna say
I'm
that
gonna
too,
say, what do we want? And you guys are gonna say justice. And then I'm gonna ask you, when do we want it? And you're gonna say now. Everybody got
And
it?
if we don't get it, shut it down. Hey! See,
Okay.
they're going to the Portland protest.
Okay. So what do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
If we don't get
Down, yeah, we don't. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Yeah,
Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
and feel free to clap that. What? So one more chant, and then we have more speakers, and then we're gonna march. We're gonna do this. Okay. So this one goes, hey, hey, oh, these racist guts are got to go, hey, hey, oh, these racist guts are got to go, hey, hey, oh, these racist guts are got to go, hey, hey, oh, these racist guts are got to go, hey, hey, oh, these racist guts are got to go, hey, hey, oh, these racist guts are got to go, hey, hey, oh, these racist guts are got to go, hey, hey, oh, these racist guts are got to go.
We want y'all to continue that momentum. Continue it. I hope you guys got the chance to hear those stories, process those stories, hear us out. For a second now, I want y'all to hold your fists in the air to show solidarity. I want my black brothers and sisters to come up to the front again. Hold up those fists. I want y'all to stay in the front.
Thank you.